Welcome to the Everything Sparkle Show. Today we have three amazing guests. And when I say amazing, it's because they're so good at what they do. Mike, how are you?
Great, Sparkle. Thank you for having me on today.
The Elbow Room.
Yes, the Elbow Room and Riley's Brew Pub in Clovis, but primarily the Elbow Room, yes.
What I love about the Elbow Room is it has been around ever since I can remember.
Yeah, it started in 1955. Technically, I am the fourth owner, and I've owned it, as of June 1st, it'll be 26 years.
So you've owned it for 26 years?
26 years. Originally at Palm and Shaw, where the Limelight is now, and then I moved it in 98 over to, 97 over to Fig Garden Village, and then we've expanded 3 times at that location.
So you do the wines at the Elbow Room, and now you got Riley's Brew Pub. So how is doing the beer? You went from wines to beers.
Well, we're diverse in our approach, but the Elbow Room wine cellar, we've won 23 consecutive Wine Spectator Awards, they are given internationally. So they're very hard to get. Maybe 3,000 restaurants in the world get that designation. Yeah. So when you come out there, we're going to stroll through the wine cellar so that you can pick your favorite.
Oh, that could take me days. You have a huge
You can
wine
drink
cellar.
your way out, yeah. Yeah, we've got about 3,000.
After you drink your way out, you can't find your way out.
Exactly. Just stay and we'll cook for you.
That's amazing. And you know what I love about the Elbow Room? I moved to LA in 2004. Okay. Then I moved back in 2017. And it's still there. Yeah. It's still fun. I can go there dressed to the nines. Okay. I can go there after going grocery shopping. It's like a constant, and I love that.
Yeah, I think we're unique. You might see 3 generations in there at one time. When I first moved in there, my wife would come over on her break, and literally we were chalking on the floor where the bar was going to be and what have you. And it's kind of ironic because you're thinking now, well, it's pretty well put together and what have you. And, thanks to her and some of our other key people, it was literally gutted, and it was like drawing pictures on the ground. And, thus here we are today, and the sales have actually grown about, 16-fold since then, thankfully, because of all the people that come in. We have them from kids to 95 years old.
Oh, that is so amazing. And Riley's, when did you pick up on Riley's? Because they had different owners in 2017.
Well, actually, Riley's we opened in October of 16, so I have some partners in that venture. And again, that's out by Clovis Community.
So you were always an owner?
Yes, from day one. Now there's Riley's Brew Pub. Riley's Brewery. We're the Brew Pub. Dan and Tracy Riley own the actual brewery.
Okay.
Yeah. And they go back, they're 3rd generation, Dan's family is. Dan and his wife Tracy also have some ownership in the Brew Pub for the naming rights. So that's the connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you get into that? Because you already have so much success with the Elbow Room. You got your wines going. What made you think, hey, beer, and that's my next journey?
It's interesting you asked that, because I had that question asked to me a couple of weeks ago, and it was really because Dan Riley and his wife, they are just A-plus people. I like the idea of a brew pub. I mean, it's kind of funky, edgy. It's very high-tech in there. The Elbow Room has that old steakhouse, old San Francisco kind of look. Riley's is very, very high-tech, and it's got the brewing tanks. It's very edgy. But, again, Dan Riley is just like an A-plus human being, as is his wife. And I thought, I would really like to do it, but it's more about them. It's always about who the people are, and they're just spectacular, and the product's great.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So the big question of the hour, how are you doing during this transition that we're all going through?
Geez, God knows this is hugely challenging for everybody. So what we have done, I was with Dave Fansler, who owns, Pismo's and Westwoods and Yosemite Ranch, and we spent time together. We probably talk every day, and we're both, and Pat LaRocca, we have a lot of friends that we're collaborating with to make sure that we've got, very easy for the guest curbside pickup. So you can get lunch and dinner at the Elbow Room 7 days a week. We're doing a brunch pickup on Sundays.
Ooh.
Okay, from 10 o'clock.
Oh, I would have done that this last Sunday. My birthday was Monday. I wanted brunch so bad.
Well,
maybe I'll have to do it this Sunday. That's what
we'll get you a belated birthday gift. Nice. We'll put a little bottle of bubbles in there for you, or whatever you want to drink. And then we're selling, like Dave is and Pat, so we're selling out of our wine cellar bottles of liquor and beer just like you were buying it in a wine shop or a liquor store. So those are non-restaurant prices. So the margins are low. It's very friendly to make everybody understand, like, we're in this together. We want you to be able to come in, pick up your food. You want to take a drink to go, you can take a drink to go, or you can buy bottles to go, and the pricing is really attractive.
That's great. And what's the wine club?
The wine club, we have a wine and whiskey club that we just started. John O'Neill, who's my wine director, he and I, Daniel McGee's my business partner and general manager, we thought it'd be fun to have a wine and whiskey club, which we do now. So for $50 you join the club. It entitles you, because monthly in a normal world we are doing beer dinners, wine dinners, like a 5-course meal. Mm-hmm. We also have wine bar Thursday, wine and whiskey bar Thursday. So you come out, I got Tom Scott playing kind of a cool vibe, and you're on the vineyard patio, which is on the west end, and we have wine tasting and whiskey tasting and hors d'oeuvres, play a little bocce ball on our court, and that was something that we had just instituted. So if you belong to the club, you get 10% off any of our functions. So it could be a beer dinner with Riley's, it could be a tequila dinner, it could be a whiskey dinner, whatever. And then on these wine bar Thursdays, you get 10% off, you get special pricing. And then on the wine list at the Elbow Room, there's a member's price, and that's discounted even further. I feel like I'm a priest. I'm kind of giving you all the signs here. But
you're blessing us with wine.
I'm blessing you with the wine, yeah.
That's exciting. And on Thursdays is my night that I like to go out, so that's perfect.
Yeah, Liz Noble, who I've worked with for 25 years, she's like the best restaurateur around, and she's also a business partner in Riley's. She said, no, we gotta make this kind of a Thursday night thing. So, we do it from 5 until whenever, and Tom Scott kind of lets it roll.
I've had Tom Scott on the show before.
Yeah, no, he's great, and we'll do you know Eva Scow? We'll get Eva down too.
Nice.
Eva lives here in the tower. You got to get her on the show. She is one of the most prolific musicians, really anywhere. She plays all over the country, but she's here in Fresno. She's like right.
You got the best at the Elbow Room.
Oh yeah, we kind of corral them all. Exactly.
That's so nice. And I went there around Valentine's Day, and you guys had it decorated so beautiful.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I got to make it romantic. And right now we wish we could decorate it so that you could come in and hang out. So, but in the meantime, we're lined up for Easter dinner also. So if you want Easter brunch pickup or prime rib dinner for Easter, we have that lined up. So, I think on the trailer, on the header on this, it's got the phone number for the restaurant. And that way you can line up Easter for your family. I know we can't have you come out, but we'll, again, prime rib dinner, and then we've got...
the food makes up for not being able to go out. I love it.
Yeah, and then we got a little mimosa thing with the brunch as well. So we got orange juice and bottles of Prosecco to go at a really cool price. And, yeah, so we just put that in today.
How fun.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing deliveries or curbside, or do you get it Uber
We're doing
Eats?
both. So we have Postmates and we have DoorDash for delivery. So those are 2 apps that are typically used, and then curbside delivery, and we bring the food out to you. So we have parking slots that are numbered, and when you pull up, you just text us, you're in stall number 1, we bring the food out to you, and it's user friendly. We've got all the utensils and whatever you need.
That's amazing.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. Yeah. And your staff, they all have the gloves and the masks. You got them all equipped before there became a shortage.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, the standards are at the highest. But one thing that I think maybe isn't commonly not understood, but we're really focused on it now. But the sanitation standards. I'll give you an example. Whether it's the Elbow Room or Riley's, and I know Dave Fansler does this in his restaurants because we talked exactly about this earlier today. All of our staff, I mean every single person that works in the kitchen, has a Serve Safe certification. Okay, now that's a formal class. We teach it or have it taught in multiple languages.
I have my certification.
Then you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Now, by law, you only need to have either the general manager or the kitchen manager, 1 or 2 key people who could then teach it to the staff. We always took it to another level where every single person had to be served safe in the kitchen. So,
and that's important. I'm really glad that you guys did that
Yeah.
because they teach you so many things. And the main thing I like about it before all this happened is just how it teaches the temperatures of everything that everything needs to be, and that's really important to know.
You cannot have top food unless you have proper handling from the time it gets delivered in and proper knowledge on rotating your product in. And we have line checks 3 times a day. When we first get there, we double check every piece of refrigeration, then we do it before lunch. We do it actually 4 times a day, and then late afternoon before dinner, and then at closing time. So, I mean, you know the importance of that, because holding the product properly is critical. We don't want anybody to have a bad
That's great.
experience.
So every new person that comes in has to do the check. So it's not
Yes.
like, oh, we thought it was done this morning. It's like, no, it's a checklist, and
Yeah.
that's super important.
Yeah, 4 times a day. Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, and that's
You've thought of
built in.
everything.
Well, after, this many years, but it's a constant. How do we get better? I know the lady from the health department loves us because she goes, I know which restaurants to eat in, and Elbow Room is one of them. So, we're partners with the health department. They're not the enemy. They help make us a better restaurant, and that's critical. So really embracing the suggestions and making sure that our equipment's working properly, et cetera. We have a monthly service contract where all of our equipment, if there wasn't a breakdown, nonetheless we have them come in and service it just to make sure that it's working properly. I mean, we're such a high volume restaurant, it's just smart maintenance.
Well, and that's part of why you've stayed successful for 26 years. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's been a constant for me my whole life, just knowing I can go there, knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
I like that.
And, Sparkle, I think we're a lot better restaurant than we were even a year ago. I've got a great young chef who's Le Cordon Bleu trained, Eric Rodriguez. Miguel Gamboa, who's been with me a long time. He can cook as well as anybody. But from a systems and hygiene standard, that's foundational. And then secondary, we keep improving. We keep the standards at the Elbow Room, but I think the new things that we've introduced have elevated us to a different level. Plus, we do Saturday and Sunday full-service brunch for the last few years at the Elbow Room, and there you'll see all kinds of families, which is kind of cool. So when I was very young in the restaurant business, my family, my dad had 2 places in downtown San Francisco, and I had no intention of doing this. It just kind of worked out that way. But his mantra was, who's your next generation of customer? Okay? At my age, okay, I'm on the older end of it, but I'm always thinking about, I want to make sure that all the young moms and dads that come in with their children, that they just have a righteously great time, because they're really important. And I know, a lot of times when you're a little kid, a lot of places don't treat you with a lot of respect, and I really take the opposite approach. I mean, the kids are cool. We have a great young staff, and so we embrace that, and I'm really proud of our young team. I'm really proud of our young clientele.
That's great. So now everyone has to go back. If you haven't been there in a year, we got to try the new Le Cordon Bleu chef.
Oh yeah, Eric Rodriguez. He's great. He's really good. So he'll do our wine dinners along with Miguel Gamboa. But the regular day in and day out menu, if you like, fresh crab, we've got gorgeous crab all the time. Our seafood comes in fresh 6 days a week. In fact, what we get is never more than 36 hours old from the time it was caught until it's laid into the restaurant.
Wow, that's so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, our seafood supplier is the most prominent and the largest west of the Mississippi. In fact, it's Santa Monica Seafood Company. They help develop all the sustainability standards with Monterey Bay Aquarium. So they're the only company that has every national and international certification for safety as it pertains to seafood and sustainability.
So where did the Elbow Room get its name?
Do you know the name Vito Guido? That sounds a little mafia, doesn't
Vito
it?
Guido? Who's Vito Guido?
Vito Guido technically was the second owner, but he's really known as the owner of the Elbow Room. Sadly, he passed away at, I think, 94 years old in last December. And Vito had the restaurant. It was at Palm and McKinley, and it was a small home, about 900 square feet. So apparently you could be sitting at the bar and damn near touch the tables behind you. And the place was packed apparently morning, noon, and night, thus the name Elbow Room.
You were elbow to elbow.
Yeah, and the logo is the cat leaning on a martini glass on its elbow. So
well, I've been in many events there, and I always do rub elbows. So.
Yeah. Thank God we're busy. But yeah, so if you go out on our main patio, that original cat in neon is leaning on the martini glass.
That is so awesome, and I love that you kept that.
Oh yeah, no, you got it's like having a cool automobile that's this year's model, but like if it was a Jaguar or something, you see the line of the car, but it goes back to the 50s, 60s, and it keeps getting sleeker and cooler and better. And that's kind of, you always need to keep a tie to the past while you're evolving, looking out forward for the future. That's what we try to do.
And I could see this being around for generations and generations. You have your family already working
Yeah,
in the business.
I have
ready to
my
take over,
oldest stepdaughter. Gosh, she rocks. Yeah, she's soon to be 20 in May, and she handles our social media, but she works as a server. And right now, during this really difficult time, she's down there, 4 or 5 days a week, and she's coordinating all the takeout orders and curbside. And we involve her in all of our strategy
That's
meetings.
a great experience. It's good for both of you.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? I'm big on, I want a lot of different people's inputs. It's not just the Mike Shirinian show. I mean, it sounds sexy to say, great, you own the restaurant. Well, that's all well and good. I think the successful places, we have great diversity within our restaurant, all ages, different points of view, and that's what makes us a much better restaurant because we involve everybody, and that's critical.
And I always see all ages there. Like I said, I've been there for so many different events, and I've been to young. There was the young mixers of professionals,
yeah,
young professionals.
right.
We have that, so that's a completely young crowd. Then I went to the political event where it was all older people, and you just cover every age group.
Yeah, it's really funny if you roll in there on the night before Thanksgiving. That's when everybody that's from Fresno comes back to town to visit. I'm going to tell you what, it's like 20 deep at the bar and on the patio, and it's like, oh my God, it's the who's who of Fresno. So we're blessed to have that kind of history, and you know what, it's really, I know we're always creating history. Yesterday, today, and beyond, we're creating new memories. But my obligation is to perpetuate something that felt really comfortable, whether it be your grandmother, your mom, who I know, and you, and beyond. And that's really there's a lot of foundation, and it's really solid, and the people are really nice. I'm laughing because 99.9% of the people are great. And I have somebody say, well, who's the 0.1% that isn't? I said, that might be some aspect of my family. so no, but I got a great family. But I mean, really, the guests, it's like family going to work every day. I mean, I love going to the Elbow Room. I mean, that aside from the humongous business challenges, it's never about the people. We got the coolest people around coming in, and it's fun.
Well, I love that you've made all of this accommodating for us and that we can go there and we can get brunch and everything. That's really exciting that you guys did that, because I know really quickly this is just overcame us and we had to think quick and what are we going to do next? Instead of just closing the doors, you're like, no, let's make this work. Let's try to accommodate everything.
Yeah, it's really important, and we're literally having 3 or 4 meetings a day because, you're morphing on the fly. There wasn't a playbook.
Exactly. And there's no one to ask, hey, when this happened to you, what did you do?
You didn't have the script. None of us. Nobody had the script on this deal. So, we're doing this on the fly. And like I said, we're meeting every day. And how do we make it better? How do we make it more efficient? How do we reach out, let everybody know that we're here for them? And, I think there's a big emotional component. I know we're in the food and beverage business. I get it. People go where they're made to feel good, and that recognition is really important. When things are going great, hey, it's easy to be nice. When things are tough,
that's when we're tested. Well,
that's when we're tested, and you know what? I think right now, even though it's really hard, and my wife would say I've been a little bit cranky lately, and I have been, certainly not through anything that she did, but it's more, I'm frustrated because so many of our staff aren't able to work, so it's taking care of them. So we have a big group chat. We feed them whatever they want. Just come on in, take packages of food to go, whatever they do need, and we're happy to do that. So it's heartbreaking. I mean, I took myself off salary as well. If they're going to go off salary, I'm going off salary. And
were you able to keep some of them coming in a little bit?
So we've got we have a skeleton crew just to be able to take care of the orders that we have. Mm-hmm. I mean, it'd be cool if we could have everybody, but there's nobody. There's just not enough business.
And especially the bartenders. I mean,
you
have one making a few of the drinks and that.
Yeah, you can take them to go if they're taped and all that stuff. But we'll get through it. And I've got people that I've been blessed to work with since even before I owned the Elbow Room. I mean, since 1989. So I've got really cool young staff, and I have veterans that we spent a lot of formative years together. So
So support your local businesses,
Yeah.
you guys. Get the to-go order from the Elbow Room. You know how much you love going there when everything. So bring the Elbow Room to you.
Yeah, the elbow.
The Elbow.
And
Thanks.
I'm going to bring food down to you guys. You're going to be here tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, I'll hook you up, and I'm delivering food for all of you. You just let me know how
Oh,
many.
thank you. Mike, you're
Hey,
too
I'm
sweet.
I'm the delivery guy too. I earned my stripes. I can deliver. So.
I love this. Thank you so much for coming in, Mike.
Sparkle, thanks for having me, and you know what? Everybody, hang in there. We're going to get through it. Boy, are we going to have a party when this is done?
Right?
Yo, here we go.